And today, in this session, we're going to look at some corporate role models in Sodexo and Sanofi. And it's my pleasure to introduce Michel Landel, who, to me, and I met him for about half an hour last night to talk, he is not a smart woman, obviously. He is a smart man, and he is a man who is a true advocate for women. And he is a man who literally is changing the world, and together we're going to talk about that today. So welcome, Michel. So Michel, you are CEO of Sodexo, which is a global giant, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you do, in France, in the services sector with 425,000 employees across 80 countries. You are the leader in quality of life services. So can you tell us a little bit about how quality of life creates social value in the community?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And, you know, it's always very impressive to be in this kind of audience for a man. Yeah? So, but I am very grateful to be here. You know, it all starts with the conviction, you know, that if you create a moment of quality of life, of wellness in people's life, it has an impact, ultimately, on the performance of the organization in which these people, you know, interact, work, and do, you know, what they have to do.
Common sense.
And, you know, common sense, but I think it's, you know, it's very important. And through the services that we provide, we can do that. We can try to do this every day, you know, through our 425,000 per year. But also, you know, because we are a local business, because we are in 80 countries, we operate our services locally. We leave the value that we create where we produce it, right? We participate to the, you know, social, economical, and environmental development of the communities in which we do business, right? So we create jobs, and because we hire many people who, in many cases, have very little education or no training, by providing them a job, by training them, we increase their employability, and, you know, we can expect that these people will have a better life.
Incredible. Now, back to my favorite topic, and probably the favorite topic of all the women here. How can you tell us that you are helping women? How do you help women as a company?
Well, actually we have in our company 54% of our population are women.
That's a good start.
Yeah, but, you know, you know, the thing is, we, as I said, we employ a lot of people, and among them a lot of women who have, when they come to us, no background, right? And when you think, you know, we do also a lot of business in emerging economies, and, you know, when you think about women, they represent, among the entire unemployed population of the world, 2/3 of that population. So they suffer from unemployment a lot. Mm-hmm. They suffer from hunger as well. Mm-hmm. You know, 60% of hunger people in the world are women. So what we do through the programs that we have put together is trying to create jobs, train women, and engage them to, you know, to be entrepreneur. For example, you know, we have a supply chain program, inclusive program, that, you know, we've committed to spend $1 billion with, you know, SMEs, and specifically...
In case nobody understands SME, just in case.
Small and medium enterprises, okay. Extra small.
We all have our jargon,
medium
right?
Enterprise, and also, and we are committing to help 5,000 of them around the world, and at least 2,000 from, you know, managed by women. We also, in many countries, when we implement our business, when we, for example, serve, you know, in Peru or in Chile, a lot of mine sites, right? What we do, we encourage women to create jobs, to create their own companies so that they can serve Sodexo, provide services to Sodexo and sell their product to Sodexo, but also develop their business, right?
Would you be able to give us maybe an example or two of one of those types of businesses that you've supported?
Well, as I said, in Peru, for example, we have created 11 training centers where we bring these women. We train them in, hospitality, in managing maintenance, small maintenance, and they create their company, and they can, at that time, hire other person, and have a revenue, have a better living, educate their kids, their children, and grow and have a better social life, right?
And self-confidence, which is the key.
So those kind of things. So we do that in many countries, and that's how we contribute to the social life.
Amazing. Now let's talk about your employees just for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think, Michel, that creating social value for your employees is so important to the organization?
Well, for the same reason that we have to create social value as an organization, we have a responsibility in society, which is to develop people, and so we have 425,000 people in the company, we are the 19th largest employer in the world. So we have a huge responsibility because we help families to educate children, to have a better life, and our goal and our objective is to grow these people. So we have, we promote people from within. So many people of Sodexo have grown up from the bottom, and
one of them is you. Haven't you been there 33 years or something like that?
That's right. Yeah.
So grown from within, yes, to CEO.
So it is the essence of Sodexo and the purpose. We kind of a social elevator for the people that we hire.
And on that note, in terms of what's gone on inside your company, to me, one of the best kept secrets that I've ever heard of is a report that you may not have heard of that was recently issued by Sodexo called Gender Balanced Teams Linked to Better Business Performance. If you haven't read it, please do. It talks about how the optimal gender balance occurs when you have 40 to 60% women or men to impact performance. And so to me, when it comes to the topic of diversity, there's a lot of talk out there. Our social media feeds are just cluttered with all of these depressing statistics about diversity. But we all know that actions speak louder than words. And one of the things that struck me in this report and why it's worth going into is that this is a company that has done a study on their entire 50,000. And could you just elaborate a little bit about this study, because it's quite fascinating.
Well, there are a lot of studies
yes.
to prove that, when you have gender balance, you have better results.
Right.
And frankly, one of the challenges of a company like Sodexo is to convince people that gender equity is the right thing to do, right? Mm. And
you're talking about within the company, within this massive company.
Yeah, but that's the reality of the world,
Right.
And so we wanted to enrich the business case and create a business case which was inside Sodexo. So we surveyed 50,000 of our managers, actually middle managers.
That's a big survey, 50,000.
In the world. And we analyzed what they've done over the last 3 years. And we've came to the conclusion that those managers who were working in teams with a team which is 40 to 60% gender balance have better results.
And you have all
the sweet
statistics.
spot is between 40 and 60%, right? So basically 50%, which makes sense because it's 50% of the world population. But we have better results in terms of image, in terms of engagement of people, and in terms of financial results as well. So that has helped us, convince our teams, and specifically men, because at the end of the day, we have to engage men because, we're still a man company in a man society, and with men we can try to change things.
But what I really love about the research report is most of the research out there talks about this and how important it is and why they think it should work, but you're actually living proof. You're living this type of company, and I think of you, after this discussion, I think of you as a corporate role model. And I feel that if you're doing this right, shall we say, that this information should be shared more widely, and I think you're keeping it quiet.
No, well, but
Until today,
we did it for internal purposes, and I think many companies should do that because it's not that complex to do.
Right.
And frankly, it's the best way to convince your own teams and your own people, because this is the business case,
So it's great that we have a company that's already doing it, gets it, is a leader in this area, and women love to share. So I think if you want to read this report or share it within your own companies, great idea as a next step. Do you have anything else to say about that report?
Well, what we are going to do is update it.
Okay.
To make sure that, we can confirm those results, because if you do this, a series of time, then you can really, make it a reality and prove it.
And this is a major quantitative undertaking.
Sure.
Huge. Okay, so what type of an impact has that report had on your firm itself?
Well, the impact is that, we're moving, we have to engage people, because this issue about gender equity is very complex, and we need to continuously, enrich the business case. So it helps us convince more people, engage them more, and I think we have done a very good job as a company, but we can always do better, right? Mm-hmm. Because we are far from being where we should be. We have, 50% of women at the board, almost 40% at the executive committee, but we need to, like in many companies, and most of the companies in the world, we have to really build the bench strengths, in the middle management, because it's all about that. And so it's a challenge and it's a journey, and we're not yet done.
You're very humble. Why is gender balance such a crucial issue to you personally? Obviously, you couldn't do this without having the conviction that you do.
Well, maybe because of my education. Also, certainly because of my wife.
Tell us about her.
She's very engaged, and she always challenged me on that, dimension, which
and you didn't run away.
Really helped me. I had also the chance to live in the U.S. for many years, and at that time, it was high in the, as a challenge for companies and organizations. So, and also because we are a people company, and we serve 75 million people every day around the world. And a company like us, which is in a service business, we have to mirror, the society that we serve, right? And there are more women than men in the world. So it makes sense for us as a business case. And again, 60% of college graduates are women, and all the good statistics that everybody knows here, which, we cannot not afford to be an inclusive company. And we are trying to be a better company every day, but it's a journey.
And you've proven that this is possible, and your company is highly successful. So there is, there's no downside to this strategy that I can see.
But I see, many other companies doing the same and getting better. So I'm very optimistic.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
This is very good. I guess the last question I'd like to ask, and then if we have time, which I don't think we do, we could have questions, but how have you engaged men in this process of embracing this whole idea of gender diversity?
Well, it has not been easy, but it has not been easy also to engage women at the beginning, right? So we engaged, and what I believe is that each and every one of us, we have to challenge ourselves, and we have to change fundamentally to understand who the others are, because you are a woman, you're not a man, and I am a man, and you're not a woman, so you don't know what it is all about,
Right.
So unless you really work on yourself, you cannot know. So what I've done and what we have done is we've really engaged our teams in, profound, work on awareness, training, development, and I would say that it's never finished. And we constantly have to challenge that dimension because we don't know what we don't know, So we have to learn.
I love it. I think Sodexo is a corporate role model, definitely, that not only understands the power of gender diversity, but actually they are doing it right. I am just thrilled with your accomplishments.
No, we're doing a lot of good things right, but we still have a lot to improve. I guarantee that.
A perfectionist in our presence,
No.
I think. This
We're
is
just
good.
human beings,
I love it. You're a true inspiration to all of us. Do we have time for a question? No. All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.